Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Break the Mold. In this episode, we're going to talk about all the books that I've read in May. Starting with Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. So this is the story where we follow Mitch as he pays visits to his sociology professor, Maury. So this is an easy 5-star for me. As you can see in the tabs, it's very evident in the tabs that I have really enjoyed this book because most, if not all, of the conversation between Mitch and Maury are always full of meaning, always deep. I felt a lot of emotion reading this book, from guilt to fear to hope. This book will make you realize that life is so short, as cliche as it may sound, but it's true. Okay, we sometimes don't mind the small things or the small decisions that we do in life, but actually it can really impact greatly in our future, or it can really impact on how we live our life. Guilt because there are so many people that have contributed deeply in our life, who have contributed a lot in our life, and for the most part, as we progress, sometimes we forget about them. Sometimes we forgot how they influence us to who we became or who are we now in the present. Next is The Conference of the Birds. This is the 5th installment to the Miss Peregrine's Pictorial Child series by Ransom Rigg. I gave it a 4.5 because I feel like there's so many things that is happening at the same time in this book. There's the conference, there's the discovery, the saving, there's also the love story part of it. So, sometimes I get so confused on what really matters because there's so many things that is happening. This is also similar to its previous book because the climax is almost at the end, which is normally or common to most of the Miss Peregrine's series. But these ended in quite a cliffhanger, which is, annoying in a sort. But I like this book because it did not actually divert from the purpose of the series, and the ending will make you excited to read the next book. Next is Shiver by Maggie Stepvater. This is a 4 out of 5 for me because for me this is just a simple read. The plot is simple. There's only one plot where the story evolves. Although there are complications that surrounds the story, but that's it. There's no other more. If you like the Twilight Saga, then I recommend this for you. Although it did not really match the energy of Twilight, but this one is an easy read, so I recommend this. Next is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is one of the most hyped book now in TikTok. I gave it 4.9 only because I don't like the sudden transition of timeline in the story. It seems like anticlimactic for me. The story revolves around Addie, of course, as you can see in the title. I like the character Addie, but sometimes I feel like she has a Stockholm syndrome. That's why there's part of the story that I don't agree with how she behaved or how she decides. Although I'm okay with, enemy to lover trope, but for this one, I don't think I can agree. Henry is a nice character for me. he is highly relatable because most people feel what he feels, and I understand why he decided to do what he do because I know where he's coming from. Luke, on the other hand, for me, is a manipulative and someone who takes advantage of the vulnerability of people, and I don't like him for that. This book is also recommended for people who's into arts because there is an art inclination in this book. This is a recommended book for people of all ages. Next is The Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This has already a tie-up series in Netflix where I've watched first before reading the book. Although I have watched the series first, I still am surprised and stunned by some of the events. Since we are following Alina's point of view in this book, we get to wallow in her emotions, but her emotion is not strong enough. It did not transcend to me. I cannot feel her. I cannot understand her. Her character development for me is very fast. Meanwhile, Mal's emotion in the book is so strong to the point that I can feel his pain. Mal's delivery of words in the book is so pure. That's why I can feel him. He has the power to deliver his side of the story, although we are following Alina's point of view without sounding sad and miserable. For me, in the first book, it's too early for us to judge the Darkling because I can feel that he has a good intention. The next one is the second installment to the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which is The Siege and Storm, still by Leigh Bardugo. This book for me is uneventful except for the very first part and for the very last part. It seems like 90% of the book is an introductory to the third one. I like the new characters that have been introduced in this book because they bring a fresh of breath air to the story. I do like the surprise factor in the plot. What I don't like is how Alina keeps secret from others that might contribute to their demise. This second book strengthens my affliction to Mal because it strengthens my connection on how he feels, the pain that he is feeling. I understand him, I feel him, and I know where he's coming from. Overall, this book is a good supplementary to the first book and a good introductory to the next book.